Welcome to our channel United Coaching. Today we will discuss questions in science and technology. Our question is, with recent advances in human reproductive technology, pro-nuclear transfer is used for. So is it for fertilization of egg in vitro by the donor sperm, or genetic modification of sperm producing cells, or development of stem cells into functional embryos, or prevention of mitochondrial diseases in offspring? So the correct answer is pro-nuclear transfer is used for prevention of mitochondrial diseases in offspring. Now, mitochondrial diseases are where the mitochondria is defected and it cannot produce enough energy. So it could lead to weak muscles or constant weakness in body. So it is basically a genetic disease. And the examples of mitochondrial diseases are such as mitochondrial myopathies, or Leigh's syndrome, or mitochondrial depletion syndrome, or mitochondrial encephalomyopathy, etc. So in that, pro-nuclear transfer technique is used for preventing the mitochondrial diseases in the offspring. Our next question is, with the advent of deadly killer AIDS, we commonly hear the term ELISA. So what is ELISA? So is it a test to detect AIDS, or the virus which causes AIDS, or the very first person who died of AIDS, or the center in which AIDS was first detected? So the correct answer is, it is a test to detect AIDS. Now ELISA, the full form of ELISA is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, and it is a test to detect AIDS. Our next question is, in which medium sound travels fastest? So is it in solid, liquid, gases, or vacuum? So the correct answer is solid. Now vacuum cannot be the correct answer at all, because the sound needs a medium to travel. So vacuum cannot be the answer over here at all. But between solid, liquid and gases, the sound travels fastest in solid, because the molecules in a solid medium are much closer together than those in liquid or gas, and therefore the sound travels fastest through solids and little slower in liquids, and the slowest in the gases. So the correct answer over here is solid. The sound travels fastest in solid. Our next question is, the planets which are on either side of the Earth are. So is it Mars and Jupiter, or Mercury and Venus, or Mars and Venus, or Venus and Saturn? So answer is Mars and Venus. The Venus comes second, and then third is Earth, and the fourth is Mars. Our next question is, TRAI stands for. So is it Transport Regulatory Authority of India, or Transport Registration Authority of India, or Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, or Telecom Regulatory Agency of India? So the correct answer is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. TRAI stands for Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Our next question is, Lilavati is a comprehensive treatise of ancient India on. So is it on chemistry, or philosophy, or mathematics, or medicine? So the correct answer is mathematics. Now the 12th century mathematician Bhaskara or Bhaskaracharya named one of his systems of mathematics after his daughter Lilavati, and the book or the work Lilavati is a huge treatise that encompasses all mathematical and astronomical knowledge of India at his time. And what a treatise means is, it is a written work dealing formally or systematically with a particular subject. So it is a collection of work or different experiments or knowledge written down by any expert. So Lilavati is a treatise on mathematics. Our next question is, man first set foot on the moon in the year. So was it in 1966, or 67, or 68, or 69? So the correct answer is in the year 1969. Neil Armstrong, Edwin Aldrin, and Michael Collins were the first astronauts to set foot on the moon on the date July 20th, 1969. And the name of the spacecraft was Apollo 11. And they landed on moon after 4 days after exiting the Earth's atmosphere. And they landed on the moon in the lunar module, and it was called the Eagle. Our next question is, which acid is produced when milk goes sour? So is it lactic acid or butyric acid, tartaric acid or acetic acid? So the correct answer is lactic acid. When milk goes sour, the lactose gets converted into lactic acid. Our next question is, the color of a star is an indication of its. So is it its temperature or distance from earth or distance from sun or none of the above? So the correct answer is temperature. The color of a star is an indication of its temperature. And the stars in the sky have different colors like yellow, blue, white, green, purple, etc. And the color of any star largely depends upon its temperature. And the red star are the cooler than the white ones, and the white stars are cooler than those that have a bluish white or bluish colors. Our next question is, the main compound of liquefied petroleum gas, that is LPG, is. So is it methane gas or ethane or propane or butane gas? So the correct answer is butane gas. The main component of LPG is butane gas, and it is chiefly a mixture of butane and propane and is compressed under pressure as liquid and stored in iron cylinders. And in India, the percentage is 60% butane and 40% propane. Since butane doesn't burn well at low temperatures, probably the portable cylinders contain a blend of propane and butane. Our next question is, when the speed of a moving body doubles, then the kinetic energy becomes. So is it that it remains unchanged or gets quadrupled, that is means 4 times, or it gets tripled, that is 3 times, or it gets doubled? So the correct answer is it gets quadrupled, that is 4 times. When the speed of a moving body doubles, then its kinetic energy becomes 4 times. The amount of kinetic energy that an object has depends upon 2 variables, that is the mass of the object and the speed of the object. So the formula for kinetic energy is half or 1/2 mv square. So when the speed of a moving body is doubled, then its kinetic energy gets quadrupled. Our next question is, which of the following has the maximum specific heat capacity? So is it water, oil, piece of iron or piece of gold? So the correct answer is water. The specific heat capacity means the substance keeps absorbing heat without raising its temperature on the thermometer. In short, it is the unwillingness of the substance to change its temperature when heat is given to it. The higher the specific heat capacity, the less willing the substance is to change its temperature. So because the metal and oil gets warmed easily than water, so it can be said that the specific heat is lower as compared to water. Our next question is, the instrument used to regulate temperature to a particular degree is called. So is it a thermostat or thermometer or pyrometer or thermocouple? So the correct answer is thermostat. A thermostat is a component which senses the temperature of a system or, for example, a room, and maintains the desired set point temperature. It is the control that tells the heating and cooling system when to heat or cool down the temperature or do nothing about it. So the correct answer over here is thermostat. Now, whereas thermometer, pyrometer and thermocouple are the instruments used for measuring the temperature. So they are just for measuring the temperature and they do nothing to regulate the temperature. So like pyrometer is used to measure the temperature at high degrees from distance, and thermocouple, apart from measuring the temperature, it is also used to generate electricity based on the Seebeck effect. So these are all 3 options, thermometer, pyrometer and thermocouple, are just for measuring the temperature, whereas to regulate the temperature, the device is known as thermostat. Our next question is, human nails are made up of. So is it pigment or elastin or albumin or keratin? So the correct answer is keratin. Keratin is a family of fibrous structural proteins, and they are the key structural component of hair and nails. Our next question is, which artery does not carry oxygenated blood in human body? So over here we are talking about artery which usually carries the oxygenated blood. But in this question they are asking which is the artery that does not carry the oxygenated blood. So is it the cardiac artery or renal artery or hepatic artery or pulmonary artery? So the correct answer is pulmonary artery. A pulmonary artery is an artery that carries deoxygenated or oxygen less blood from right side of the heart to the lungs, and the blood here passes through the capillaries adjacent to the alveoli in the lungs and become oxygenated as part of the process of respiration. And the pulmonary vein is the one that brings the oxygen rich blood to the left side of the heart. So the correct answer over here is pulmonary artery is the artery that does not carry the oxygenated blood. Our next question is, which of the following is also known as galena? So is it lead sulfate or lead oxide or lead sulfide or calcium sulfate? So the correct answer is lead sulfide. So galena is also called as lead glance or lead sulfide, and it is the natural mineral form of lead sulfide. It is the most important ore of lead and silver. So the percentage of lead and silver in galena is 86.6% is pure lead and 13.4% is silver. So the correct answer over here is lead sulfide is also known as galena. Our next question is, which of the following is a mangroves flora? So is it spruce, moss, rhizophora or cypress? So the correct answer is rhizophora. Rhizophora is a genus of tropical mangrove trees and sometimes collectively called as the true mangroves. So the mangroves flora is rhizophora, and spruce is the flora of pine trees, and moss is a bryophyta or non-vascular plants, and cypress are the coniferous trees. So the correct answer over here is rhizophora. Our next question is, air quality index is. So is it an air pollution measuring machine or a measuring scale to show quality of air, or used for measuring humidity level, or used for forecasting rain? So the correct answer is a measuring scale to show quality of air. AQI or air quality index is an index for reporting daily air quality, and air quality index is used by government agencies to communicate to the public how polluted the air currently is. So the higher AQI means the air is not healthy to breathe, and it has increasingly severe adverse health effects. So the correct answer over here is AQI is the measuring scale to show quality of air. Our next question is, in which of the following ecosystems a benthic zone is found? So is it in tundra ecosystem or forest ecosystem, water ecosystem or desert ecosystem? So the correct answer is water ecosystem. The benthic zone is one of the ecological regions of the body of water, and it comprises the bottom such as the ocean floor or the bottom of the lake or the river. So the correct answer over here is benthic zone is found in water ecosystem. Our next question is, the water pollution in the rivers is measured by. So is it by the amount of dissolved chlorine or ozone or nitrogen or oxygen? So the correct answer is amount of dissolved oxygen. The biological oxygen demand or BOD is used to measure water pollution, and it is measured it is a measurement of the amount of dissolved oxygen that is used by the aerobic microorganisms when decomposing the organic matter in water. The higher the BOD value, the greater the amount of organic matter or food available for the oxygen consuming bacteria or the oxygen dependent bacteria. So the water pollution in rivers is measured by the dissolved amount of oxygen. Our next question is, measurement means the comparison of an unknown quantity with some known fixed quantity, which is known as, so is it known as unit or scale or order or standard? So the correct answer is unit. The measurement means the comparison of an unknown quantity with some known or fixed quantity of the same kind, and this known or fixed quantity is called unit. This unit is used as the standard unit of measurement, and for taking any measurement we need a unit, and then we find out how many times the unit is contained in the given quantity. So the correct answer over here is the fixed quantity is known as unit. Our next question is, what are the objects like sun that give out or emit light of their own called? So are they called glittering objects or luminous objects, shiny objects or sparkling objects? So the correct answer is luminous objects. The luminous objects emit light on their own. For example, sun, star, candle, bulb, etc. And the glittering, shiny and sparkling objects are the reflective objects or non-luminous objects which are visible because of the reflection of the light emitted by the luminous objects. So the example would be moon, planets, mirror, mirror or any object which is visible, which is not emitting its own light. So the correct answer over here is objects like sun are known as luminous objects. Our next question is the metal cap of an electric cell is generally the dash terminal of the electric cell. So is it the negative terminal, positive terminal, neutral terminal, or none of the above? So the correct answer is positive terminal. The metal cap is the indication of the positive terminal of the cell. A dry cell is usually made up of metallic cylinder, and it has a flat base and a metallic cap on the top. The metallic cap on the top is the positive end of the cell, and the flat base is the negative end of the cell. And a cell usually produces 1.5 volt of current. Now a trick to remember which side of the cell is positive and negative. So you can use this trick when you hold the cell, the battery from the side. You can when you look at the cap, and the battery makes a kind of a plus sign. So you can remember that side as the plus sign, and the opposite end would become the negative sign. So the correct answer over here is the metal cap end is the positive terminal of the electric cell. Our next question is, which among the following diseases is not caused by a virus? So is it the polio or chickenpox, influenza, or typhoid? So the correct answer is typhoid. Typhoid is caused by a bacteria called Salmonella typhi, and polio is caused by polio virus. Chickenpox is caused by the virus known as varicella zoster virus, and influenza is caused by influenza virus. So the correct answer over here is typhoid is caused by bacteria and not by virus. Our next question is, substances which are generally bitter in taste and feel soapy on touch are known as? So are they acids, bases, indicators, or litmus? So the correct answer is bases. Now the example would be any soap or detergent, which is when you touch the soap or any detergent dissolved water, or detergent dissolved in water, that water feels slippery or soapy in hand. So because the soap or detergents are basic in nature, that's why they feel little slippery or soapy on touch. So the correct answer over here is bases feel soapy and bitter in taste.